Hi guys, welcome back to Live Life with Jay. I've been MIA for a couple months and it was hard to get back in the groove from vacation, if I'm being honest. We were away for 2 weeks in Florida and we decided to take a long overdue vacation after 4 years of paying off debts. We've had like little weekend vacations and things like that here and there, but this was our first vacation as a family flying somewhere that we haven't done in 4 years. And the vacation before that ended up being Florida, and we ended up doing it again. I'm sorry for any background noise. I decided to record outside today. The weather was beautiful and I just wanted to be out. So I apologize for any distractions and I'll try my best. This hair, the frizz. I cut my hair, guys. I cut my hair. So this is not only I'm back after 2 months, but this is also our 1 year anniversary YouTube video. Oh my gosh, it's been 1 year since I started this channel. I finally took the plunge after years of wanting to do it, and I think it was about when we first started our financial journey 4 years ago that I was like, oh, I should keep tabs of our progress, our financial journey, and I had started doing it, and a lot of things happened during that time, moves, and it just didn't happen. And I think at the same time it was like analyst paralysis. I was just like, should I be doing this? I mean, if I would have started a long time ago, who knows where I would have been today. But I want to thank you guys for being here, and I want to thank you for watching every week when you were. I apologize for not being here. It's definitely a nice break, and I know that, shortly, the world is supposed to be going back to normal. So my kids are supposed to be going back to school, and I'm supposed to be officially going back to work, inside. So it's really going to be difficult to keep up, but I am going to try my best because I enjoy doing these. I enjoy sharing whatever I learn, and I also enjoy sharing our journey of trying to get to financial freedom. So I wanted to specifically focus this video on my story. I haven't officially went through my story. I would have little things here and there, but I think that it's time. It's the 1 year anniversary. Why not share my debt journey into going into our debt-free journey? And I think that would be great. I originally thought doing this live, but I was like, I may mess up and I may curse. They probably ban me, or you may hear some things and I can't edit it out. I don't know, but I was like, let's just keep it as a normal video. My frizz though is not cooperating out here. I apologize. There's no filter, guys. This is me. This is real life. So let's get started. I'm gonna start from where our debt started. Obviously I was going to school, so my student loan started school, but I wanted, I feel like just like a normal debt, so I was like, why start there? In 2007 I found out I was pregnant with twins. I suffered a really bad pregnancy disease. I never know the exact words to call it because it's rare. 2% of women, and I happen to be that 2%. The pregnancy disease is called hyperemesis gravidarum. For short, they call it HG. And in nice words, they like to use the term that it's severe morning sickness. But it's nothing like that. It's beyond what a morning sickness could ever be. So if you know the feeling of having the stomach virus, you know, like the 24, 48-hour stomach virus. And you know how, like, that takes so much from you, it takes over you, and it's like beyond what you can imagine. That's HG, but due to the duration of your pregnancy. And there's different levels for everyone, for women, and it can be as minimum as you can have it for a few months. A few months is the minimum, right? And then it'll go away, or you can have it minimum where you're still mobile, but you're going through all this vomiting. I like to say I had it pretty bad. I didn't have it the worst, because there's been worse than me. But I had it to the point where I was stuck in bed until about 20 weeks pregnant. I was admitted into the hospital a few times. I was in the ER a dozen times for dehydration, and I lost over 30 pounds, so it's really bad. And I have a little story in my YouTube of the journey of my little miracles that God has blessed me with, and that it'll kind of give you like some more details of what I went through. But anyway, let's fast forward, because I could be here. It's a book, definitely a book. So I'll be here all day. So at 23 weeks pregnant, my water bag ruptured, and I went into preterm labor, and I gave birth to 2 1-pound babies after being in labor 12 days. 2 1-pound babies, boys, beautiful boys. I mean, they're beautiful, but at 1 pound, it was kind of scary at the same time. So if you have been following my Instagram, sorry to jump off topic, I kind of did like a part 1 story, part 2 story. They're really short, and then I said part 3 will be here. So I'm giving you all at once right here. So anyway, during that time of my pregnancy, we were also engaged to get married. I found out I was pregnant a day before our engagement party, and then we had like a 2-year engagement. So when I found out I was pregnant in August, we had our engagement party the next day. It was planned already though. It's not like I found out I was pregnant and I had an engagement party. Not like that. Sorry if I'm confusing you. But the following September we were, scheduled to get married, and we were saving money, and I was still going to school full time and working a couple part-time jobs, saving money for our wedding. So anyway, in that January I gave birth, and I gave birth to 2 forms of labor. First baby came out natural, second baby came out C-section, emergency C-section at that. So yeah, my body was going through a lot at the age of 23. So babies were really, really bad. They were on ventilators and oscillators. Oscillators is the worst one. It's the next one after the ventilator. They started on oscillators and slowly went on to the ventilators. And my strong baby, that they considered my strong baby, went from oscillator to a ventilator, and then he was like doing his thing, and he was just like, he was doing so amazing that I got to hold him. I held him twice because he was doing so good, and he went from the ventilator to the cannula, the one that goes in your nose, and that's when they told me I could hold him. He was my strong baby. He survived 23 days. He survived 23 days, guys. I should have brought some tissue out here. with my strong baby passing, you know, I thought I was going to lose my weak baby. My weak baby was on the oscillator for a long time. He had a hole in his heart. And he barely moved. He barely moved. After 6 months in the hospital and a few surgeries and infections and feeding tube, he came home. Our miracle baby came home. Oh man. So, what and how does this come into play to our financial journey? Our debt journey, really. You see, the money that we had saved for our wedding went to burying a child. You know, there was options, and they gave me an option if I wanted to donate his body, and then there was an option for cremation, but I didn't know much about that stuff. At the age of 23, I never lost anyone, not anyone that close. So I opted to have a funeral service because I feel like that's what he deserved. He lived for 23 days and I held him and I watched him move, and I believe that as his mother, he deserved to have a funeral service and be buried. So yeah, the money that we had for our wedding went towards burying him. His service, his burial, everything that is included, and it's not cheap, not even for a baby. I'm messing up my makeup. I'm gonna fast forward a little tad bit. People told us to cancel our wedding, and we said no. We're gonna do this, but we had to get a house first because I didn't have nowhere to put our son when he came home from the hospital, so we bought a home. We had a down payment for the home, and after that we realized that we depleted our funds, and it was 3 months away from getting married. We took out a loan for the second half of our wedding because the first half was already paid for until we got pregnant. So we had to take a loan for our wedding, and that's where our debt started. Our debt started getting a loan. This is why it's so important to have an emergency fund. It's so important to have an emergency fund because you can't predict what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to happen. I had no idea that I would have experienced the pregnancy that I had. I had no idea that I would have went to labor 15 weeks early. I had no idea I was going to lose a child. And the purpose of an emergency fund is to make sure that you have money for unexpected expenses. And if we would have had an emergency fund, we would have been fine. But we didn't. So we took out a loan for a wedding. But we had just gotten into a new home. And I couldn't work because I was a stay-at-home mom to a special need child. We were living paycheck to negative paycheck. Our expenses were exceeding our income. And because of that, I didn't know what to do. And I started applying for credit cards and started using them just to get little things for the house. And then a month after we got married, I found out I was pregnant again. And all I thought to myself was just like, how am I want to take care of my special need child while I'm dealing with this pregnancy. And God said, I'm not gonna give you HG for this pregnancy. So I had very normal morning sickness, guys, normal, whereas I vomited, it smelled, it stunk. I had normal pregnancy, so I got through it, and we got through it. So at this point, a stay-at-home mom of 2, I couldn't afford to put them in daycare. It would have cost us about $1,600 a month, and I was just like, who is gonna pay me? I didn't even get to finish my last semester of school. I had to go back to school, finish my last semester, and it was so much that what benefited us was just for me to stay home at the time. But and then our debt started climbing. I got to a point that I had 12 credit cards. 12 credit cards, okay? 12. And we were just drowning. I picked up a personal finance book at the end of December 2016, and we started our financial journey in February 2017. I kept hearing about it, and I was like, all right, let me check it out, and I read it, and I was like, I started 2 months later. We waited for after the holidays and to start, and I started selling everything in the house. I have a dining room table. Let's sell the kitchen table. I was couponing at that time, so I did a flea market. I made $300, and in 1 month I made $700 because I was selling things. And I had a $700 emergency fund for the first time, so it was great. And I was like, okay. And then something happened to my car and it cost $400. And I looked at my husband and I was like, okay. So we started laughing because it was just like, we had an emergency fund. That's what the emergency fund is for. So our emergency fund went back to $300, but then income tax came and we fully funded a starter emergency fund that we call it as I believe it was 15. We did $1,500 as a starter emergency fund, and then started attacking our debt. And within 4 years from that date, we paid off $54,000 in debt, and we also were able to save almost $50,000, which helped us pay cash for a car, down payment of a new home, and furniture and things that we needed in our new home. And if you would have told me that 5 years ago, I wouldn't have believed that it was possible. And honestly, it just came from budgeting and not spending so much, and increased income because I started working part-time as well. Our journey isn't over yet. I have my student loans that are left, but that's it, just my student loans. And we decided to build our 6-month emergency fund first before continuing our debt of student loans. And obviously, during the pandemic, they're at 0% interest right now. With pregnancy number 3, I suffered through HG. We did have our starter emergency fund, and we were able, it wasn't as hard financially, but it was hard with the disease for sure. Right now, in our financial journey, we are working on our 6-month emergency fund, and once we have that completed, we will be paying our student loan debt at the same time as investing. And we decided to do that because time is so important. Time is your bestie. Compound interest is your bestie, and we want to take advantage of those besties. And in order to take advantage of those besties, we decided that that's what we're going to do, and that's okay, because I know that my money will grow quicker than the interest on student loan debt. But yes, happy 1-year YouTube anniversary watching. Thank you guys for being here. Happy 1-year anniversary to Live Life with Jay. I am so excited to continue to talk to you guys, to help answer questions. whatever it is, feel free to subscribe. Follow me on Instagram. I will put that down here. And I'm sorry if you have any background noise here. I thought this would be great. And I'm sorry for my crying and if I messed up my makeup. I'm so sorry. I did. I messed it up. I'm sorry. Oh my gosh. That was wind in the door. Yes. Just thank you. I'm just really excited that we made it to 1 year. Please share with everyone. Please subscribe. Like if you enjoyed this video. Share if you enjoyed this video. Everyone's story is different. Mine, unfortunately, our journey started with a loss. The hardest loss I could have ever imagined in my life. But there's more. There will be more. And there's more goals to conquer. Alright guys, it is time to go. Thank you for being on Live Life with Jay.